Welcome everybody. This is another walkthrough for Hack the Box Business CTF 2023. This challenge is a web challenge by the name of Watersnake. It is an easy challenge. And yeah, so let's hop on in. I already have the Docker spawned and downloaded the files. Starting to look at the files, you can see that it is a Java application. And you can see that we have like the main application. If we look at the controller, you can see that it is, you have controller, you have update. So you can see the different routes here for the website that we're looking at. You can see stats here. It's just reading in, read from sensor, and it looks like it's doing some command line stuff, which is going to be important for us. But here, yeah, you can see update, and you can see that it's defining from our input stream, it's grabbing some YAML, and it's doing a YAML load. And if we look at the YAML that it's importing, it's using SnakeYAML. And so if we go over to our POM XML, we can see that our version is 133. And if we go and look for vulnerabilities, there is a nice one, courtesy of Sneak. CVE 2022-1471, which is an unsafe deserialization vulnerability. So YAML is able to support objects, very similar to like in Python, you can do the unsafe load. Snake was doing an unsafe type of load. If we go down, you can see that right here, there's a gadget that they made. So this was a custom gadget that they used. Basically, allowed a command and it would run that command. And so they could do command line arguments, which we seem to already have that. It's like they meant for us to do this. So if we go back here and we look at get water level, we can see that get water level is coming from this other Java file. And so it's really just taking this value as input, splitting it, and then it is feeding that into our command. So it tries to run the command. You see down here it will fail to, but then it'll output whatever we want. It's kind of doing exactly what we need. So we have our gadget already, so we can use this get water level. So if we go back to here, really what we're going to be calling is an object. It needs to be valid YAML, but we're going to use this bang bang and then the address of our gadget. So I already put together a YAML payload. So I'm just using some var colon, and then here is what it is. So we have the com lean water snake get water level, which you can see that's com lean water snake. So that's how I found that. We do a space here. I did not do that for the longest time and it took me a while to figure it out. But then we just put our square brackets and we can pass in our command that will go in as our argument. So here I'm actually using ngrok. I have that set up as my forwarder. And that's just come into a web server. And if we look here, you can see that I have that YAML payload and a test file. I'll show you the test file in a second. It's a Python file. Let's go ahead and start our web server again. So if we come look at test, you can see it's just a simple Python file. I'm importing socket, pathlib, and base64. I have my host specified as the same ngrok receiver. And I am using path to read in that flag.txt. I'm reading it. So that's going to contain the string that it contains. I'm also using base64 encode on the flag so that I can send that in my GET request. Should be short, so hopefully it is. If this wasn't as simple as, hey, we know /flag text is where we're looking, you could use a Python file like this to create like a remote, like a reverse shell. But anyways, let's go ahead and fire it off. So I'll just go ahead and grab all this. Come back over here, and so we'll go into this firmware update or update HTML, paste that in here, and you'll see that it will say, I had already run it earlier, so it says config queued for firmware update. If it was invalid YAML or something like that, you'd see something different down below. But if we go back over to our web server, you can see a grab test. And you can see in the command, I'm saving it as test.py. So now I can just go and update this. We'll do Python 3 test.py. Submit. Looks like it worked again. If we come back to our web server, it erred, but you can see that we did get our flag, hopefully. So we'll copy that. Let's just cancel our web server. We'll go this into our base 64. And we have our flag.